Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we have a political story that has caused ripples across South Africa's government of national unity, one that mixes executive discipline, coalition politics, and the endless tug-of-war between President Cyril Ramaphosa and the Democratic Alliance. On the 25th of June, Andrew Whitfield, the Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, found himself suddenly stripped of his position. The announcement shocked many in political circles because Whitfield, a senior DA figure, had not been under any cloud of corruption or scandal. Instead, he was accused of breaking a simple but non-negotiable rule: he boarded a plane to the United States without seeking presidential clearance. Now, at first glance, some South Africans shrugged. After all, many of us travel without asking our bosses for permission. But here's the difference. When you are a deputy minister, your boss is the President of the Republic, and the rules are very clear. Every international trip must go through the presidency, not as a courtesy but as a constitutional requirement for accountability. Whitfield skipped this step, and Ramaphosa says that left him no choice but to act. In his detailed statement released on the 27th of June, Ramaphosa insisted the dismissal had nothing to do with party politics or personal rivalry. He explained that Whitfield's breach was serious because the executive rules had been spelled out at the induction of the 7th administration and repeated again during cabinet meetings earlier this year. According to Ramaphosa, no minister or deputy can claim ignorance. Everyone knows the rule, and Whitfield decided to ignore it. To strengthen his case, Ramaphosa drew on history. He reminded the country that this was not the first time such action had been taken. In 1995, Winnie Madikizela-Mandela was removed as Deputy Minister of Arts, Culture, Science and Technology under Nelson Mandela for a similar breach. In 2007, Nosizwe Madlala-Routledge was dismissed by Thabo Mbeki for going on an unauthorized overseas trip. So, the message is that Ramaphosa is not inventing new standards. He is simply applying the same yardstick that past presidents have used. But the politics of coalition makes this story more delicate. Remember, the DA is now a formal partner in the government of national unity, holding several ministerial and deputy ministerial posts. Losing Whitfield suddenly raised eyebrows among DA supporters who wondered if the ANC was using technicalities to weaken its partner. John Steenhuisen, the DA leader, had to step in quickly. According to Ramaphosa, Steenhuisen was told about the decision beforehand, and he acknowledged that Whitfield himself knew this could happen. In fact, Whitfield even wrote a short apology after returning from the United States, effectively admitting fault. Still, the DA could not resist flexing its muscles. It issued a strongly worded statement condemning what it saw as bias. The DA argued that dismissals should be fair across the board and accused the ANC of enjoying double standards when disciplining its own members. That line of attack immediately caught attention because the ANC has a long record of shielding senior figures from consequences, especially when the accusations involve corruption or mismanagement. The DA asked, why are some ministers who face serious scandals still sitting comfortably in cabinet, while a DA deputy is dismissed over paperwork? That is where the humor and irony of South African politics comes in. Imagine the situation: on one side, ministers accused of misusing state funds are happily attending cabinet meetings. On the other side, Andrew Whitfield loses his job for skipping an approval stamp on a passport. For many South Africans, this contrast feels absurd, and the DA is eager to amplify that sense of unfairness. Ramaphosa, however, pushed back hard. He criticized what he called DA ultimatums, saying decisions on cabinet appointments are the sole prerogative of the president under the Constitution. His words were firm: coalition partners do not get to dictate how executive discipline works. He added that the presidency usually does not explain dismissals publicly, but that outright distortions spreading in the media forced him to set the record straight this time. This clash reveals two deeper truths about our politics. First, Ramaphosa is under pressure to show he can still enforce discipline within a government that now includes multiple parties. By taking a hard line on Whitfield, he signals that no partner is above the rules. Second, the DA is equally under pressure to prove to its supporters that it is not simply a junior partner doing the ANC's bidding. By protesting loudly, the DA positions itself as a watchdog inside the GNU, even if privately it accepts the president's explanation. The real twist, though, is what this says about the future of coalition politics. South Africa has entered uncharted territory where cabinet seats are divided among rival parties. Every dismissal, every reshuffle, and every appointment will now be scrutinized for hidden motives. Even a technical violation of rules, such as Whitfield's unauthorized trip, becomes a lightning rod for accusations of bias and betrayal. Looking ahead, the question is whether the DA will quietly nominate a replacement and move on, or whether it will escalate the dispute and demand stronger guarantees from the ANC. For Ramaphosa, the dismissal may strengthen his hand temporarily, showing that he will not be bullied. But it also risks alienating a crucial partner at a time when the government of national unity is still fragile. And here is where the humor lies. In a country where some politicians treat rules as optional, the president decided to draw the line at airline tickets. It is almost poetic. South Africans joke that Eskom can collapse, trains can stop running, and potholes can swallow cars, but heaven forbid a deputy minister boards a plane without filling out the correct form. Still, the seriousness cannot be denied. If rules are ignored at the top, the entire system of accountability collapses. Whether one supports the DA or the ANC, most citizens can agree that ministers should play by the same book. The real frustration is that the book is not always applied evenly. And that is why this story resonates beyond Whitfield's career. It raises fundamental questions about fairness, equality before the law, and the credibility of the new coalition experiment. So, as the dust settles, one thing is clear. Ramaphosa has chosen to be unusually transparent, Whitfield has paid the price for ignoring the rules, and the DA has another opportunity to test its role as both partner and critic in government. For South Africans, it is another reminder that politics is never just about the headline act. Sometimes the drama lies in the small print of executive protocol. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Do you think Ramaphosa was fair in firing Whitfield, or was this political maneuvering disguised as discipline? We would love to hear your perspective. See you next time.